Okay. Let's have a look at Overlord Fellowship of Evil. Can I start this by saying this game kinda sucks? In we go. So we're going to start a new game, and we're going to talk about why this game is absolutely awful.
After the destruction of our last Overlord, the land was in a state of pastoral bliss, filled with
But we can't
pleasant
have that.
conversation and tinkly niceness.
Nope,
It was
definitely
all
not.
so very dull.
Yep.
Evil, it seemed, was on its last legs. We minions searched high and low until we found our salvation. All that remained was to find the right evil candidates. Dead evil candidates.
I mean,
The
that
brutal
works.
Inferna, legendary warrior, crushed in aggressive altercations with rock trolls. Oh, shame. Devilish necromancer Melody, who extinguished her own life in return for a nefarious dark curse. Maximum carnage. Dwarfen rogue Hawken and dark elf prince Kryos, killed by each other's hand. A 2-for-1 evil bargain. And so, with the resurrection of these dark champions, we begin to spread a little chaos again. Now, which dark champion shall I summon first?
Yeah, so select a class. Because unlike all the other unlike all the other Overlord games, this plays more like Diablo. Which is the first thing I think this gets slightly wrong. Anyway, let's pick one at random. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This game is a pile of arse. Looks like we're playing as a necromancer. And into the game we go. So the opening to this had me quite excited back in 2015.
This is the Neverdeep, home of ultimate evil. Well, it used to be until our last master went a bit exploding.
Bits everywhere.
It was rather unfortunate.
We had to have the ceiling redone.
I mean, that does sound messy.
Alas, we also lost our Netherheart too. As you can see, evil is not what it used to be. And that's where you, dealers of dastardly doings, come in. We need to spread a little evil.
Bring back the black.
In fact, and we're very excited about this, welcome to the Trials of Evil. Dear, please step through the portal and we can begin.
So the Overlord games never really explained what evil is. Just nebulously they are doing evil. Yeah, I mean, Overlord 1, they very much seem like the good guys, kind of by the end, sort of. Maybe lawful neutral. But yeah, we're off to commit generic evil.
You may find that your new Nethergol form is a little snug. So let's get you moving. Try using your weapon to break that barrier.
So this game was a shift from Overlord's sort of previous incantations, where it was very an action game blended with an RTS.
Ah, minions! They flock to evil like flies to a festering corpse. These are Browns. They're your bodyguards. Dependable, hardy types. Eventually, they'll learn to taunt enemies and draw their attacks away from you.
So in this, the minions, instead of functioning in their sort of previous RTS sense, feel a bit more, I don't know, more like almost power-ups.
Damn gawkers!
We said stay with the tour group. The locals are not friendly.
Elves always turn up when they're not wanted. They are never wanted.
Bloody elves. No, no. What shenanigans are going on here? Right. Now, bearing in mind this game has been out nearly 10 years. Well, 9 years. Yeah, it's still quite buggy. This is not a smooth gameplay experience. Thank you.
Their essence often forms minion energy cubes. They allow you to unleash minions whenever you want. You deal with all of them, it'd be like rabbits, you know.
So yeah, if I'm stood on like a slight incline, I will miss half the time.
That's the sound of a loot goblin about to reward you for not being hacked to tiny pieces. By the way, minions are great at gathering loot. Gold, very useful for something so horribly shiny. Use it to buy things. We want these things.
And yes, the idents on this do look like a free-to-play game. It was very much not free-to-play, although I think you'd probably have classed it as a budget title. I mean, if this had been a full-price release, it would probably have been slightly more known about. So the Overlord series was never perfect. It was always janky, but
Block or dodge them. Still alive. Excellent. On you go. This minion fountain will allow you to summon different colored minions. Hit it, and it will generate these neat little minion energy cubes. Minions can go places where your Dark Majesty can't. They can also pass through elemental gates and operate switches for you. This gate is a brown one, so it will require a brown minion. Give it a whirl!
so let's get myself some minion cubes. Because the minions are the bit this game really kind of bogs up. Always being the other Overlord sort of USP. I don't have direct control over my minions at all. I can come over here and I can summon, so I'm maxed out on everything. There you go, 2, 2, 2 and 2. And I can send a red in there. But I can't directly control them. I've sort of taken that option away, which turns this into a very, very simple version of like something like Diablo. That's my attack. I can cast some weird spell and dodge. And you might think this is going to laden me down with abilities later, but you'd be wrong.
Wow! Here come the blues. Blues will heal you. At first, they'll hang back. Cowards, but later they'll follow you. Choose one now to heal yourself.
So blue minions, really squishy, but can heal me. Brown minions are my tanks, red minions have ranged attacks, and green minions are sneaky and do ridiculously insane amounts of damage. If they can get anywhere near the enemy, of course. Which in this game is a big if. So off we go to spread generic evil.
Use your special attack ahead and take advantage of the boiling lava below.
Here we go.
Who doesn't like a bit of boiled yam?
But you'll be noticing there's no abilities bar. Here we go, here come my greens.
The little devils. They'll teleport to enemies and strike from behind. Let him loose on the approaching enemies. Gems! They're even better than gold. Although sadly, China. Use the minions to break those barricades or risk the spikes.
Damn it, risking the spikes seems sort of more effort than it's worth. Firebreaking Skull.
Full ahead. Die. Funny how that switch is right by some fire grates. Open to abuse, I'd say.
I mean, it does seem amusing. Equally, I'd probably not turn the light on quite as frequently if I had to cross a fire grate.
By my crevices! That looks like a shard of the old Netherheart. Stuff surrounding it. Ugh. We call it the Golden. Pure, unadulterated sweetness and light. Ugh. Sadly, you're too weak to resist it at the moment. Oh dear. Scabies' desire to impress you has got the better of him.
This is one of the worst mechanics in the game.
Now that is embarrassing. There's no shaking that off.
Hit it with fire.
Careful of that Golden.
So if your minions touch the stuff at the end, they essentially become hostile. And this is going to happen a lot. And if I touch it, I seem to remember I lose health. And there is absolutely no way to stop them from running into it. As you're probably going to notice, they're going to do it quite a lot. Where are you now? Where are they? There. I suppose I should sort of use the mechanics the game gives me. But as you can see, when I summon my minions, they just end up getting turned into these useless purple things. Because they run off to fight the enemy before they're out of the toxic stuff, and there is no way to stop them. Because unlike the old Overlord games, which admittedly had an awful camera, the right stick is not control my horde. See, so now I daren't summon any minions because all I'm going to do is create more enemies.
When you see the timer, it means get moving, Netherghoul. You'll receive crowns for winning these death-defying challenges. Sadly, they're not real. The crowns, I mean. The death is very real. Burn it! Burn it! Reds are a little unstable. Thankfully, this tends to be in the direction of enemies. Usually. Launch one and see what happens. It's coming!
Did they change the reds in this? Are the reds now kamikaze? Yes.
Unleash your minions! Oh, go on. They love it.
And you will spot they've all run in the stuff again. Equally, it's not that obvious.
Finish the dog one.
Will you stay out of the stuff that kills you?
Summon a blue.
Do I have to summon minions?
It's a foot.
And now I have hostile minions again. Minions were never very bright, and their AI was always kind of awful. But they never actively harmed you. They were always generally beneficial.
Quick, before you're fluffy-fied.
And that is every ability I have. So this is a dungeon crawler which uses 2 buttons. And the game's main gimmick is something best sort of ignored most of the time because it's just going to give you more things that are damaging you.
Sulfur, the screams of the crowd.
Mayhem first, Mr. Null, nostalgia later. How do we get that shine back?
It keeps a little bit of the old Overlord charm in the dialogue, but it really doesn't carry this.
The answer is almost
This is
always even.
always been considered the worst game I ever actually finished for my sins. I'm not sure why. I think I must have had far more time back in 2015 than I have now.
You can grab it. Take a look at your map. I'm sure there's something somewhere that could do with a good kicking from the pointy boots of evil.
We will...
There's eviling to be done. Plus Ricketts mentioned she needs dragon eggs to power up the old forge. Something about making new weapons for you. The map's being calibrated to show you the location.
You'd think the new weapons would make it more interesting, but they're a pretty linear upgrade system. It was just so uninspired after all the charm of the first 2 games, which, albeit very, very janky charm, but it was at least charm. Oh, we appear to be spit roasting pandas. I mean, fair enough. Okay. I think that's probably enough of this. I feel like I may have afflicted my PS5 with a pox by installing this again.